and welcome to Market Hub Podcast, episode number, I don't even know which one anymore.
Call it 361.
Yeah, why not? Let's manifest.
Yeah, 361.
Okay.
This is for you.
Today we have Ali Jahani from Odyssey Cinematics with us, talking about everything production, cinematography, vision boards,
Yes.
specifically for health professionals.
Yeah.
Why we're doing this episode today? We are doing this episode today because we have a in-person social media workshop coming up, which is specifically for health professionals. So if you are a psychologist, counselor, dentist, doctor, yoga teacher,
Pilates teacher,
this is for you. We will start with your introduction. Please tell us about Odyssey Cinematics.
So, Odyssey Cinematics is a video agency where we specialize in promotional and advertising video packages that has a story-driven, which we pretty much utilize storytelling techniques to tell your story pretty much.
And when it comes to, I know with other industries, I know you've worked with really cool brands.
Yeah.
But when it comes to health and NDIS, what's like a client that you worked with recently?
I think the closest one that I can think of that we have worked with recently would be Headspace. We reached out to their community engagement team and they were very keen on sort of telling their story. We've sort of identified what's lacking in their presence of social media, or like in their terms, what they wanted to do was educate the local people around Casey and Cardinia in the southeast. And so that's what we did. We've kept this brief for those teams, and we've helped their social media grow by providing them a few videos that helped identify those areas that they needed identifying. So
when it comes to health professionals, we do know that there are some identity conflicts. They struggle with putting themselves out there, mainly because they are afraid that they wouldn't seem credible on social media, or there will be like ethical issues or visibility issues. What are your thoughts on it?
It's tough, right? Because regardless of what profession you're in, especially health, there are so many like regulations. There are different industries, especially health. You have so many like regulations that there are things that are like a red cross that you can't speak about. The best way of approaching it is just like staying true to the core of your identity, because like at the heart of each industry, there's something we are wanting to educate, right? And usually that's what we end up doing, or we end up like helping them figure out what the truth within their organization is, or that word that they're trying to educate, because that in itself is quite a powerful thing, especially in health professionals, if they have a mission that they're trying to work towards. Because there isn't, I highly doubt somebody would sort of tell you off for educating people on what is it that you're trying to do.
I agree. And when it comes to that industry, there are so many sensitive topics, especially when it comes to like disability, when it comes to psychology, counselors. So yes, you have to be a bit careful as to how people are identified online, how things are said online. However, if you come to it from a point of view of educating people on the sensitive topics that are out there, especially for people who need help. Right? Because at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is help them capture content that is educating people who need to hear it. Right? Who need the help. So if you do it in a way that is helpful to people, without touching on things that are a little bit more sensitive and not approved by AHPRA, then yes, there are ways around.
Of course.
recording the content.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing with the type of recording. You don't like, I think there it could be problematic for big organizations is if you get into the topic, if you get into the details of the topic and like, you know, you don't have to discuss a patient's case or something that you guys did. This is not something that we recommend it's mostly about the bigger picture of, you know, why people should trust your organization with something that they're struggling. And that's that should in a core helps your digital presence anyway for your organization. But yeah, it's about establishing the trust between your clients and yourself.
Love that. Yes, so we definitely don't recommend sharing any sort of data about your patients. However, for the people that are watching us online, not touching on data is a big one. Don't discuss any of your cases online. Only use examples without names, so keep it anonymous. And keep it educational. Don't go in depth.
That's right. Okay. No, 100%. You want to keep it, you know, vaguely interesting, but like by still vaguely interesting if you are a boring person. No, it's like, and that's what it is, because not only it can deem as unprofessional, also like in the case of like if you're say recording like a couple minute video and you're talking about you are a dentist, for example, and it's a lot more interesting for people who don't have the knowledge of what you're talking about to know the general mission of what you're on and what you want to talk about, rather than this particular case. Because A, it could be boring, B, you could like slip into say something that you shouldn't have, and then you're in all of a hot mess. But it's generally, I'm talking about myself as an example. If I'm watching something, I don't necessarily want it to go on for long, and I kind of wanted to capture, like I want it to be informative in a way that inspires me to say, okay, maybe I should check out their clinic. They're onto something.
A lot of health professionals are scared of social media predominantly because they think that they need to be dancing on TikTok to get new clients from social media. Which is very attractive and fun. However, it's not something that you have to do. So what are some of their options here?
I was just thinking about those nurses that were doing dances while the patient was dying in the back.
Oh God. Let's not do that.
Try your best not to kill your patient. Firstly, dancing is optional. No, it's I get it. It's if you are new to this board, and your knowledge or idea or identification of this is what you've seen on TikTok and Instagram, and your algorithm feeds you that, it's very daunting, because if it's especially something that's against your personality, you're kind of drawn into this obstacle of should I be doing that, and you end up taking fucking dance lessons and stuff. If you love dancing, do it. Like, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but like it's promoting what you believe in and what your core values are, and however you want to do it, we can figure out the way of doing that. But just because somebody's doing that doesn't mean you should be doing that.
And part of our procedure when a client comes on is we sit down with them and figure out what their authentic self is. Right? So is it dancing? If it is, sure, we'll add it in. If it's something else, for example, they're very passionate about, let's say dentists, they're very passionate about veneers, right? They're very passionate about singing. So we create sort of like a story around it and create their brand on social media around those core topics. So that it is coming across as something authentic rather than something that you're just following the trend and just going with it.
Definitely. Like, I'm not too familiar with training, maybe you can talk about that, but like it's not something that you should be following, in my opinion, for the sake of growth. Like, you know, there are different ways to strategize it, and maybe you can talk about that, but if it's against your personality, you're gonna be miserable and you're gonna be thinking about when to post and do that and all that, and it's just, that's not what we're all about. It's it's my best advice, as you said. It's just like what we do best is help you identify your brand and what is it that makes you special and what makes your company and what your mission is. Like, I love doing those brand stories where it revolves around the entrepreneur's mission statements, and that's A, inspiring, and B, everybody wants to hear that. Like, it's, you know, it's true. People love truth.
Again, when it comes to health professionals, it's all about trust.
Yeah.
So using social media for trust is what it should be all about, rather than just doing trending videos that will get you growth, yes, but it'll just be engagements, likes, comments, shares, sure. However, is that translating into clients for you? Is that translating into patients, booked patients for you, for your clinic?
Yeah.
That's the main question.
And that's a big thing. It's like, you know, and those are fun. Like, we still do funny clips and promotions and stuff like that for engagement. But you should be also always thinking about, you know, if you're in this space for your business to grow, you can ask yourself, is this post gonna help me grow, or am I doing it for the fuck of it?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
because it can be so distracting sometimes. Just doing trending videos, and it's fun. However, you get lost in it. Is the AHPRA regulations and ethical compliances. One big example that we have from Market Hub and our clients in the dental practices, they're very specific on what can be posted online when it comes to before and afters.
Yes.
Yeah, so veneers, for example, teeth whitening. There are certain specifications that you need to follow for each post to be within the ethical boundaries of their practice. And we have to be very careful, of course, of each and every post and what it says in the caption. And again, that's something that we'll be discussing on the workshop day itself. So if you are a dentist, please do come along. It'll be very educational for you. Do you have an example?
Yeah, I mean, again, Headspace comes to mind. Our brief was, hey, we need some education raised. We need to up our social media game. Usually our process is when we have an initial meeting, I like to discover what is it that they need video on, or like how can we help? And in their case was sort of raising their identity and the brand and the education and the systems they have in place. Because they particularly wanted to kind of target that age of 12 to 25-year-olds and their mental headspace and the systems that they have in place. So our process usually is, after I've figured that out, we do a little pitch document which involves a storyboard, and those storyboards will depend on the questionnaire things that I have for them. So usually the process that I go through with the clients is I design a questionnaire interview based on the meeting that I've had with them, and that questionnaire is really designed to get to the core aspect of what we're going to be talking about, which will sort of then touch on what they need promoting. Once I have those answers, then we'll create a pitch board, and then that pitch board will sort of help them visually figure out what they need to talk about. And going to this, it was those topics of what they need to be covering was education, was that 12 to 25-year-olds, and the systems they have in place. And so I was like, okay, we have all captured that, great. And then it's then about how do you then get this information that's done in like a nice cinematic way and then promote it. So then those 12 to 25-year-olds will then find and access that information. So that was the case of Headspace, which was like the very smooth sort of collaboration in terms of figuring out the bulk of how can videos help your organization, and going about it in a very truthful way, which reflects truthfully on what they stand for. What about you guys? Do you have any case that you guys have done like in a similar sort of field?
So how we approach social media is we have a very similar approach to you, where we go in, we usually script about anywhere between 12 to 24 videos for one shoot. And we write down each and every topic that they need to cover for those videos. to educate their customers, right? Because the main point of these videos is to be on social media and be that awareness section of your business. So when it comes to marketing, there's 3 or 4, depending on what kind of business you are, 3 or 4 different channels. There's awareness, there's consideration, and then there's decision making. So depending on where you are in the funnel, you need to create different content for each funnel. Where we come in for these social media management packages is usually the awareness piece, and then everything else is basically videos that are more internal for clients rather than putting it on social media, because they are more in-depth, right? So for those awareness pieces, we go in to these dental practices, capture anywhere between 12 to 24 videos in one go, which gives them enough content for the next about 2 to 3 months. And what we then do is we do the research, we do the competitor analysis, we look at what their competitors are talking about, how they're talking about it, how they're promoting it online. And then we do a gap analysis on, you guys are not doing this, we can do it this way, that's more authentic to you guys. We capture the educational content, promote it online. It could be through organic social media management or the paid advertising side. And to be honest with you, dental practices do really well when it comes to paid ads, be it on social media or Google. And we do both. So that's why I say using educational content for social media and not focusing too much on organic growth as such is important, because you have the paid ad side that's complementing your leads, and that's how you're getting patients booked in and through the door. So that's how we work with dental practices. We make sure that their social media presence organically looks really nice on social media, so be it Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. But we supplement that with paid ads and Google ads so that they are getting booked seats and they're not too focused on engagement on social media, but rather they are getting booked seats, so they are more focused on that.
And that's really clever, because then puts them in ease of, like, when you guys rock up for a content date, all they have to do is sit down and talk about what they know best rather than twerk. So when it comes to the format of the videos, what happens before you go in for the shoot and what happens on the day of the shoot? So 90% of the work for me is before the shoot happens. Mixture of having those meetings and identifying what the core story is. I then spend a lot of time we then spend a lot of time at home sort of figuring out storyboarding, coming up with sort of ideas, script writing, storyboarding, all of that stuff, which is the part of pre-production that goes into how can we tell this story in the most compelling and cinematic way. And that can be through coming up with different ideas of doing advertisement, production design, different use of cinematography, all of that, right? So that's because I like to prepare as much as possible and have like sort of different backup options, because usually on the day, depending on like if this person's late, all of that stuff, you would definitely need backup options. So for me, most of the work is done in pre. So on the day, I'm usually the calmest person. So like when I'm there, I have my plans, I have my backup plans. It's all about, you need to be calm because you're talking to clients. They need to feel easy, they need to feel comfortable. Usually on the day, I have my videographer with me who will sort of handle the practical side of things, the lighting, video, like where they need to put the camera, which lighting do we need to use. And again, that's all done in the pre. So I keep talking to my videographer on the phone on the day before, all of that. So when we're on the set, they already know what they're doing. So we rock up, we make the client feel at ease, we shoot with those setups that we've had. And And from then on, then we just go back and once we have the data, the whole beautiful post-production process starts. And again, even that post-production, I can't stress enough that it's done in the pre. So even then, I like to, as I'm talking to the client, as I'm discovering their story, I already have a kind of idea of what music I want to use for that video and what the editing flow of it will feel like. So I can't stress enough that like at least in our profession, it's a lot of pre-production and a lot of planning that goes into.
Yeah, okay. So as you said, there's a lot of organization that goes through in these projects. What we do is pre-production, we sit down with the client, we brainstorm all the ideas on the topics. Sometimes they have topics that they want to discuss, so we will add that into the list. And then we would do our own research on what they should be talking about to get the most out of their social media awareness. And we would make a list of the videos that we want to cover. We would then create scripts for each of the topics, and we'll also create hooks for each of the topics, because social media, as we know, you only have somebody's attention for a few seconds. Maximum you'll get is a minute. So you need to make sure that you have hooks in place for each of those videos, and we plan all of that beforehand. So it's not just what they will be saying, it's also what kind of B-roll we will record, what kind of drone footage we will record, what kind of hooks we will record, what the location needs to be for each of those videos. For example, for a dental practice, it could be that they have multiple rooms and they want to capture different aspects of the multiple rooms. So then which of the videos will be shot in room 1, which is in room 2, which is in room 3. And then also who's involved in these videos, right? Because when it comes to dental practices, there are nurses, there are doctors, there are receptionists. So who's involved in each of those videos, what time are they needed, how they need to dress up, what sort of makeup, hair they need to do. All of that is discussed before we even set foot in the clinic. Once all of that is done, on the day of the production, we go in with Market Hub. Our main videographer, Ali, will be also at the workshop. And he's the one who talks to our team, makes sure that he has all the equipment needed for the day. He knows exactly what the script is about, what the topics will be covered. In case we miss something, he's on top of it. So we like to work with the one favorite videographer so that we are consistent with the way we are developing content. We are developing content, and also there's consistency in branding.
Of course.
Because it's not just the client's branding, it's also our branding.
Definitely.
And it's the quality of the work. And then once, if we have done the research correctly and we have captured the content correctly, which is 99.9% of the time, then editing afterwards becomes easy. Even though it's not easy in the sense that it takes a lot of hours. However, it's smoother. Because we know what sort of editing we need to do. We have a brand template for the client already in place, so that we use that for editing the videos. As you said, music and everything else goes into it. But we more focus on the social media side of things instead of the mission and vision statements and the branding that you focus on.
Amazing. It's a very nice collaboration. I think it's because once you've, and these are some things that I'm learning as well, right? My background was into slightly longer formats of storytelling. Like I come from feature filmmaking, like documentary filmmaking, the ones that you have a good, nice 10 minutes to take someone on a journey and like they go through, they feel what the character feels, and now I'm learning to do that in 2 minutes, in 1 minute and 30 seconds, and it's really interesting, and it's also adaptation. It was a bit of I had to learn that, but throughout this journey I'm learning to enjoy it and like find little things that I can use the skill set that I have, but make it in a way that is adaptive and functional for the clients. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think there's space for both, right?
Yes, definitely.
There's definitely space for long-term, long-form content as well, because if you have a loyal customer that's obsessed with you, then they would want to watch long-form content.
Yeah, for sure.
Short-form content comes in place, again, when you think about that funnel I was talking about before. When it comes to awareness, because people's awareness are so short at the moment, we have to make sure that we're creating short form reels that capture attention very quickly, right? So once you have their attention, you still need content to feed them further down the funnel, where they can consider you, where they can decide if they want to buy you. So that's where the long form content is so important, where you can share your mission, your vision, your case studies, internal stuff that you can't share on social media. Share that in the form of a video, because people prefer videos. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time.
Awesome. So if you are someone who's in the health area, if you are a counselor, therapist, psychologist, dentist, yoga instructors, breathwork instructors, all of those cool stuff, and you want to be on social media but don't know how to be on social media, then come to this workshop. It is a free workshop. It is in Warren. It is on the 26th of February.
It is
And it is at
Warren.
Yes, at 12 o'clock.
Yes, as my colleague has mentioned already.
There will be a link to the event on Eventbrite. You can get your ticket there. There's only 15 spots, so get your tickets quickly before they run out, and we will see you here.
Have a good afternoon and day and night.